I'm here with Dr. Guiyou Huang, the new president at Western Illinois University. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Huang.
Thank you, Devin. Nice meeting you.
Okay, congratulations first off, and tell me, how do you feel now that you have the new job?
Yeah, I feel truly excited. I'm thrilled that I'm afforded this opportunity for leadership. I think this is a opportunity that can help grow the university, create a stronger bond between the university and the surrounding communities, and also opportunity to expand our programs and grow morale. In many ways, it's a tremendous opportunity for me.
Why Western Illinois University? Why choose here?
Yeah, now a number of things stand out. So Western Illinois, I'm familiar with the organization. I have a current colleague who used to work at your university for nearly 3 decades. So he had very nice things to say about it. And when I was shown this opportunity, I look at the program breadth, the faculty, staff, students, the mission of the university, and the vision. I think the vision is very aggressive, but very ambitious, but a very good vision to be a leader, to be the leader in educational quality, opportunity, and also affordability. That's a great vision for the community and for the state, for the people of Illinois who want to get a college education, and they can do that at Western. The other part of it is this: the university's mission. Mission is related to the vision. The mission of the university emphasizes interdisciplinary perspectives, global perspectives, and emphasizes academic excellence. So those now I was a professor for many years. I used to teach, right? So academic excellence is my language, and I have been a higher ed leader for just about 2 decades. And the vision of Western Illinois, they are very consistent with my leadership philosophy as well. These things are really attractive. The town of Macomb is beautiful. I've driven through it briefly with my family. We like it. Already received a phone call from the mayor. Very nice phone call, and filling me in on the township. I want to build a good relationship for the university with the town and also with other surrounding communities. So the programs, let me emphasize that too. The programs Western has, they are broad and they are comprehensive. They have a lot of potential. The faculty is the owner of the programs. I think those programs, could further develop into larger markets, attracting more students to come to Western, so the students can benefit and the community as well.
Why leave your last school, which is Edinburgh University?
Oh, you mean my current school? I'm still here. I'm still the president, right? So
right.
I will leave around the end of the month or the end of December, early January. Put it simply, very simply, I'm with my university is one of 14 schools within a system. Okay, it's a good system with good leadership. The system is going through a reorganization and integration process. So the 3 schools in Western Pennsylvania are being integrated, and they will become one university. Okay? So I now at this juncture, I saw a great opportunity for leadership at Western. So here I am.
That's right. Talk about what areas will you focus on when you come here to Western as president? What areas do you want to improve on? Do you want to build?
Yeah, a number of them. Okay, not necessarily in the order I've named them. I think diversity, equity, inclusion for minority groups. That's an important area I want to look at. I have a record in that area. I want students of all colors, students of all ethnicities, all minority groups to be treated with respect, dignity, and they feel safe on campus. So that requires a good uh, uh, accepting culture. So a good cultural environment where these people feel welcome and appreciated. That's an important area. I have a record of doing those things on my current campus and in my former organizations. I don't tolerate racism, nor do I tolerate sexism. I have had a personal policy, a zero tolerance policy on racism and sexism or whatever that represents, the darker side of things, right? That's one area. Another, I want to put in place an infrastructure that can support and grow enrollment. I know the university has seen some decline in student enrollment over the last few years. I know the current administration has done some really good work in that area. I want to build upon it and continue to grow enrollment. I mean, both traditional programs and online programs and programs on the Quad Cities campus. Along those lines, I also want to look at the possibilities of growth with the online programs, online education, and the graduate program. So this will be, you're going to see a comprehensive plan surrounding enrollment growth, right? Traditional, online, and the graduate, the main campus and the Quad Cities campus. So there will be a comprehensive plan for growth. So that's an area. But of course, the growth of enrollment is tied closely to student retention. How do you bring in a lot of students, keep them here, do well, and graduate in 4 years, right? Ideally 4 years. 5 is okay. 6 is kind of longish as far as I'm concerned, right? So I want to work with the administration, with the trustees, and also faculty, and even students. I do believe the students have a responsibility to themselves to study hard, get good grades, get involved, and stay until you graduate. Right? So that's retention. Enrollment and retention, they go hand in hand. It's an important area. Also, financial is, these days, I have been a president for 4 years for public universities. The challenges in the financial area are enormous. When the state decided not to fund university at a higher level, right, and yet wanted to make the student tuition fee rates affordable, so that's put a burden on the university. So by growing enrollment and retention, we can improve finances. But I have experience in fundraising, in philanthropic work. I want to do a lot of work in that area with the alumni and advancement division, working with faculty, trustees again, to raise funds for scholarships and for other purposes. So financial viability will be a critical area to look at. And that's really, really important because as people often say, for a university, when you don't have an operating margin, the mission will be harder to accomplish. So we want to ensure certainly a decent, healthy margin so we can carry out the mission forward, with the human and the financial resources. So of course, I also want to work, another area I want to look at is to work with the faculty staff to continue to strengthen shared governance, right? To improve relationship between groups, build more trust. There is a trust, but we want more trust, right? Finally, not necessarily the last, I want to work with the mayor, the city council, and the surrounding communities to build a strong rapport between the university and the towns and the cities in Western Illinois.
That's right. Talk about if COVID, the pandemic, will actually really make your job just a little more harder coming in during this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Great. I know you are so nice. You are saying it in a understated way. COVID-19 in the last how many months? 8 months,
Yeah.
right? 8 months. Actually, with me has been longer because it started back in the East in January. I was already watching it, concerned about the family, friends, relatives, but we did a lot of work here to switch very quickly, very promptly from the in-person on-site modality to a totally online modality on this campus. Now, it made things a little harder because switching from one mode to another is challenging. That's for faculty and students. For the staff, for the administration, they need to do a lot of things online or virtually, not having meetings in person. So we rely upon phone calls, emails, Zoom meetings like this, a lot more, right? However, we also were trying to make sure we follow the guidelines, right, produced by the CDC, right, at the federal level. For a state university, we have guidelines to adhere to from the Department of Education and the Department of Health. For me, I'm in a system, in a state university system with the 14 universities. Then the chancellor's office, the system office also issued the guidelines. So those are the guidelines we follow, during the COVID months. You have to practice extra caution or precaution to make sure students are safe, faculty are teaching in a safe environment and keeping social distance. I know it's tiring even to say this, right? People say it. The important thing is really to follow the guidelines to make sure we do keep a social distance. We do wear a mask when we are with a company or with a larger crowd. It does feel quite a bit busier than without COVID-19. We all hope that it will go away, or we wish at least at this point. We'll see the winter is not a good season for humans at this point because this virus seems to like colder weather. Number one. Number two, while we hear news of vaccines being made available, nobody is certain how soon this will be available to the broad public. So, has been a lot of work, but it's worthwhile because we are protecting, as a leader, you are trying to protect the safety and health of your students, your faculty and staff, and even the community you live in.
Definitely. Talk about, is there any particular major type of changes that you're trying to make here?
No, I want to, of course, I've known the university quite a bit, right, during the candidacy. I think there are a couple of things I can think of. There needs to be, appear to be a need for stability of leadership at the dean's level and at the senior level, right? For example, if you look at the dean's positions, the cabinet level positions, a number of them are interim, right? So interim could mean something, good people, but when they are interim, it doesn't feel like stability is there, right? So I want to, over the next few months, I want to look at how I can provide or build stability at the leadership level. Again, especially at the senior leadership level, at the dean's level. That's very important. Another thing that I wanted to get to know people like you, or the students, different student organizations on campus, especially Black Student Association, who had some concerns about the work they have been doing, whether that will continue. There's no doubt they will continue. I urge you or the students to take a look at what I wrote in the last many years regarding diversity, equity and inclusion. I was on TV numerous times discussing these things in Pennsylvania and other places. In my application letter for this position, I had a solid big paragraph on diversity issues I have a record of it. I'm very interested in the welfare of the students. If they are happy, the university is generally successful. If the students don't feel right, then the university is not doing things right. So things like that I want to look at. Of course, another important thing is to get to know people and the places, right? Where the buildings are, where the critical function areas are. A part of familiarization with the culture of the campus, including people, policies, processes, and I mentioned places, and I also want to reach out to the civic organizations in Macomb, in Quad Cities, or Peoria, or there is a place called Canton, a Chinese name. There's another place called Pecan, the French name for Beijing, not too far away. Yeah. So so I know I have a lot of work to do, but I'm truly thrilled about even starting to work in a matter of a month and a half.
That's right. You talked about interim positions. So are you planning on coming in with your own new staff at the senior level, or how's that going to take place? Because initially, Dr. Abraham, the interim president right now at WIU, was hired as provost. And of course, it went on from there to become the interim president. But what do you plan on having to happen?
So early. I was formally appointed yesterday, right? So hardly have had time to even think about these things. Now I'm open to discuss any options, right? All options, and of course I will give myself some time to think through this, to talk with the individuals affected, to work with the board, and to work, to hear opinions about these things from different stakeholder groups. Once I'm on campus, once I get to know people, put a name on the face, I can be better prepared to answer that question. I understand Dr. Abraham has done a lot of good work in different areas. I recognize that. I know the senior leadership level folks, they have been working hard as well. I met them only on Zoom, so I look forward to meeting them in person to discuss, a future configuration of a leadership for the university, and how to best use their talents. So that's my take at this point. If I know any better.
You talk about fiscal responsibility. When you kind of looked at where WIU stands fiscally, are there any areas that maybe you plan on cutting, making any kind of cuts?
I can't give you an answer there because I don't have a complete read of the financial map at Western, right? If I do, I'll be better able to answer your question. So I want to study the financial numbers. I want to study, what happened in recent years in terms of the cuts, right? Nobody likes cut. I don't, right? Even if you don't, and sometimes you may have to do it. Ideally, you don't do anything like that, right? Because if you cut your fingernails, cut your hair, doesn't matter. It may not look as good, but cutting the hair doesn't hurt you. But if you cut anything else, it hurts, right? So it's not a good option to have. If we can avoid it, we will. If we can't, then that will be a last resort. So again, I will want to look at the areas, the financial areas, talking to people in that division to get informed, educated, and then I'll be able to answer your questions from a fresh perspective at that point.
How long do you plan on being here, and where do you see Western over the next few years?
Yeah, great question. I know. So you asked the question. You've been where you are, for X number of years or months. Are you going to come here to stay? The answer is definitely. I want to make a long-term commitment. If it's 10 years, great. Nobody can tell, right? Ideally, I don't have to move again. So I can make a full commitment to the university, set a few real goals, achieve them, then I can retire reasonably happy. I did a good few things for this university. Now, in a 5 to 10 years, I want to see the university more vibrant, with larger enrollment, higher faculty staff morale, and with the students, they want to come to Western because I talked with some trustees, very good people. They were telling me that Western has given them a top quality education. I want everybody, every graduate to be able to say that, right? In a few years, I want to say that, the relationship between the town and the gown is strong, right? Mutually respectful, mutually supportive, and independent, interdependent, right? And I want to see that the programs we have achieve regional and national, even international distinction, right? Western is pretty well ranked. And I know this is not the only standard you want to look at. Amongst the Midwestern regional comprehensive universities, this year Western is ranked number 60, I think, 60. It's a pretty good number. If we have a greater distinction, then we could be even in a better place. A better meaning people want to go there to study, to get a degree, and people want to go there to use the, I'm not talking about students now, community members want to go there to utilize the university resources because it's a good place. And another reason I decided to apply for this position was the university has had a strong record of success in the last 120 years, thereabout 121 years. I think it has the potential to be even greater and more prominent as an institution of higher education. Because the programs are there, we have good faculty, good staff. We just need to do things sometimes a little differently. Other times, just stick to the, the good traditions. When the programs are stronger, when they are more distinctive, more people want to come here to study, to get an education.
Why are you the right choice for Western's next president?
Yeah, and anyone can give you a perspective. To say the obvious, I have been a university president for 4 years, right? I have a record. I have proven again and again to be successful in different areas, so I have confidence. Now at the presidential level, I have in a university, in an academic setting, from an academic perspective, I have done everything you could think of in a university. I was a program director, department chair, university director, a division dean, a college dean, a VP, a senior VP, a chancellor, and a president. So a lot of experience. I have strong leadership capabilities. From a scholarly viewpoint, I have a strong scholarly record. I'm internationally recognized for my scholarly work with 13 books published mostly in this country, some in Great Britain, a few in Canada, Mexico, and some other countries, and in China too, published. Many articles, mostly in this country, some in other countries, and many conference presentations or keynotes at national, international conferences. I've done work in study abroad, global studies, recruited students internationally. I have built a record of community engagement. So now looking at the things that Western needs, I wouldn't have applied if I don't have most of them, right? Because you wouldn't be a good fit. And even if somebody hires you, you are not up to it, then you can do a good job. Experience means something, wisdom another, leadership record yet another. Together, I think they make me a good fit for this university. I have a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy. People tell me I have good ideas. I like to put good ideas into action. I have a favorite quote I share with you. I don't often do this. This is a quote from the 19th century Boston thinker and writer and poet, or philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, action is the publication and perfection of thought, right? If we have good thoughts, good ideas, and then we want to put them into action, and those actions will improve the organization. And that's what I intend to do at Western Illinois.
And you talk about putting those ideas into action. Let's say first 100 days in office as president here at WIU, what kind of action can we expect?
Now, I alluded to some of them already. First of all, I want to know people, know the players, right? That's important to know the culture, because each organization has a different culture from another organization. Right? Culture includes, the people, the policies, the history, its common practices of things. So I want to know that. Know the culture, know the people. That's the first thing. While doing that, I want to start to build a strong, effective, energetic leadership team, right? Utilizing current staff or leaders and bringing in new ones as well. So I want to look at both sides, and that's really important. I want to use the first few months to put on paper the priorities I will focus on for the next few years, right? So what I mentioned some of them, like recruitment, retention, Tongan relationships, diversity issues, leadership building, and all the finances. All of those are very important issues. If we do them all right, then we have a chance of improve the university comprehensively, right? But having a plan is one thing. Implementing the plan, talking about the action, is even more important. I mean, if you have a plan written, or and put it on the shelf, forgotten about it, nothing happens. The university will stay the status quo. That's not what I want. I want to see progress, improvement. One of my favorite concepts in higher education in the late 20th century and early 21st is it's called CI, continuous improvement. So we want to improve the university continuously on every major front. That's why you can build up the organization, not otherwise.
All right. So over the next few months, what are you feeling, and what will you be doing?
I'm not, obviously, I will do two things on a daily basis: lead and manage. But I will emphasize the leadership, right? Formulating a good vision, consistent with the strategic plan you have in place. Currently, the university has a strategic plan called the Higher Values in Higher Education, right? It has four major goals, including a specific goal of 10,000 students enrollment by 2027. So I'm familiar with that plan. I want to sit down with the owners, the groups working on this plan, to see how we can achieve that plan, effectively in the time frame that was set. While maybe making some adjustment if necessary. That plan is important. The things are named are also important. Interestingly, they are pretty much consistent because I named those goals out of studying the university's literature, on the website, in the strategic plan, and by talking to the search committee, the board of trustees, and individuals. So I want to make sure these are consistent. They together create a new vision that will move the university forward to the next level of excellence.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Regarding what I said quite a bit. So I'm really, really excited about this leadership opportunity. I think the board is ready for the president to jump in take the lead and making progress on important initiatives. I think the campus is the same way. I know when you are new, I hope and looking forward to be embraced by the community, but also ready to listen to every group on campus or off campus and to get their ideas on how to build up the university, how to work with them to improve the community, how to make Western a real pride, not only for Western Illinois, but for the entire state, even beyond the confines of the state of Illinois, right? I do think there is a lot of potential. We just need to find good ways to exploit that potential to make the university even better than what it had been in the last 121 years.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Guiyou Huang, the new and 12th president of Western Illinois University. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Devin. Nice talking with you. Good luck and stay safe.
Thank you. You